Find your light in the dark splendor of Midnight Hollow. Explore a landscape where all you're really required to be is yourself. Under the subdued sky of Midnight Hollow is the residents who really shine. Eccentric town folks have taken a century-old Victorian town and made it a place they can call home. What life will you make? In a town where creativity and individuality are at the center of it all. Will you be the owner of an art gallery bringing culture to the town? Or run a vintage furniture boutique to add class to Sims homes? Or a car show showing Sims life in the fast lane? The business opportunities are endless. This is one of my favorite worlds of The Sims 3. Just because it reminds me of Supernatural, my other favorite expansion pack. I just love how dark and mysterious it is. So that's why I wanted to talk about this in my next Sims kind of like collection. So let's hop right in to the most mysterious world in The Sims 3. But let's start with references. A cool thing about The Sims is that The Sims 3 actually always has some references to real-life events and things. For example, the Yates family. So the Yates family is actually a reference to the Psycho franchise. So Norma Bates is a deceased mother and victim of a serial killer, Norman Bates, who had recreated her in his mind as a murderous alternate personality. So the Yates family consists of two Sims, so Viola Yates and Morgan Yates. Morgan loves his mother more than anyone or anything. There's nothing creepy about this. They're just best friends and hang out alone together in their large, quiet home. Visitors can hear her and passerbys can see her in the window, but no one has ever actually seen her face. Isn't that creepy? Although this was not confirmed, Lucian Hyde might be a reference to Marilyn Manson. Lucian lives alone on 75th Breach Bend in this really cool looking house. And according to the household biography, Lucian enjoys being sad, and the better he is, the sadder he gets. He is also described as a tortured artist whose only torture is himself. Julian Perot. Julian lives on 77th Breach Bend, next to a burnt house. Perot shares his last name with Hercule Poirot from Agatha Christie's mystery novels. It also could be a reference from a classic clown called the Commedia dell'arte, which makes more sense, because Julian's character's outfit matches the clown's. According to his household biography, he has been a performer his whole entire life. But what people don't know is that the light they saw was not talent, but actually came from his heart. As time went on and life became harder, his life began to fade, and his performances became more and more sad. It is wondered if love can actually bring back his light. Therefore, his biography also implies that he must have been heartbroken at some point in time. Also, I'm not surprised, but his traits are really weird. Unflirty, unlucky, and no sense of humor. And his appearance also hints to his growing sadness and sorrows. He literally has a permanent sad face. Despite his personality, he still wishes to become very popular, being friends with many people in his neighborhood to give him a head start. And when the game starts, he is unemployed and has no skills. Also, his house is only black and white, as if you put on this black and white filter. A really cool touch, I think. I think this is one of the most saddest characters in the game. The names John and Jane Doe are used as a placeholder for a party whose true identity is unknown, or must be withheld in a legal action case or discussion in many English-speaking nations. The names are also used to refer to a corpse or hospital patient who is also unknown. There's nothing really interesting about their life, it's just their names that are references. But also makes you wonder, why do they have these names? Is it just them adding a reference, or do they have a deeper, sinister past? The Finn family is a reference of the Baudelaire family from the book A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. There's also a few references to the book. There is a large burnt house at the end of the street, which is a reference to the Baudelaire mansion. And the characters in the book/movie matches the Sim characters. It's super cool to see that reference because I actually loved that series in the movie. It's just super cool. Also, In the forest with the red grass next to the house Winchester, there is a standing lamp, which is a clear reference to the Chronicles of Narnia. So the Winchester house may be a reference to the Winchester brothers in the TV show Supernatural, or to the house of Sarah Winchester, wife of the treasurer of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company, William Winchester. She famously built the Winchester Mystery House, supposedly being instructed to by spirits. Which I don't actually think that's the case, because the house looks actually pretty sound and structurally it makes sense compared to Sarah Winchester's house, which doesn't. And lastly, the business office Simagon Alley is a reference to Diagon Alley from Harry Potter, which is really cool because it does look like Diagon Alley from the movies. Katarina Stewart. So according to her household biography, she had a passion for dolls since she was young and underwent plastic surgery in order to resemble her beloved doll, resulting in an almost expressionless face and pristine skin. And so she also has her eyes set on Jack Lim, and it's implied that she's pursuing him. She thinks only a toy collector like him could appreciate her perfect upkeep of a doll. Really weird, but also I just love her pink aesthetic, and her house, it's so pretty, but a really weird and dark backstory. And one of the other Sims that I thought was really interesting is Jules Wheeler. So it's implied that Jules Wheeler is rich. He's a wealthy Sim, one of the richest Sims in town due to his hard work, but was poor before. Additionally, his impoverished childhood and his wish to stay out of it made him a workaholic. It's also implied that he doesn't really live the chic lifestyle that everyone thinks he does. They consider him a billionaire hobo. He dumpster dives, he does everything that you would never really expect from a billionaire. That's why I thought he was really interesting. And lastly, the Salas family, which they are all deceased. They're all ghosts. So they consist of Jay Salas, Tatiana Salas, Sandra Salas, and Frida Salas. At the beginning of the game, Tatiana and Jay are adults who died of electrocution at some point in their lives. In the detail of the Sims, you can actually see electricity just, going around them, as if it's some kind of aura trait now, because the kids were not electrocuted, but they still have this electricity aura. They met at a ghost mixer. That's when Jay asked Tatiana for her name. And then they became a couple, and they had 2 ghost children named Sandra and Frida. Also, at the beginning of the game, Tatiana has no idea that she's pregnant. Also, if they are turned back into humans, they all have white hair and white clothing. Okay, so let's talk about the exclusive lot that you can get for Midnight Hollow. The Golden Ticket Toy Shop. This is only obtainable by getting the gold version of Midnight Hollow. It's such a cool shop. I think it's amazing. You can buy a lot of things and look at a lot of toys that you probably have never seen before. And within this venue, you can find the Titanic toy machine, which you can actually make your own toys. It's really cool. Which maybe I'm wrong, but maybe this kind of toy maker can actually be a reference for Build-A-Bear, just because you're able to go into the shop and customize, basically build your bear. Kind of could be inspiration maybe? What do you think? Anyway, thank you all for watching. That was my video on Midnight Hollow. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Have you played it? Do you have it? Do you want to play it? Have an amazing and spectacular day. Bye!